Hello, my friends, and welcome to Livestream on July of 23 of 25. Half the year, almost gone. Flowing right on by. Nothing but good times had by all. We, of course, are dancing with the mystery and the magic of the star tetrahedron. It is a system of divine power, divine love in a mystical marriage that then creates the sun, both the SON as well as the SUN, the sons and daughters of light. And it's the SON, the sun, which is the light, that then illuminates the universe. Without the sun, there would be no illumination. There would be simply light and dark, but no illumination of it. In, of course, the beginning of creation, there was that which we call the positive aspect. We could call it the Father. Not so much that it's above the mother, it's just that's a word that we use, but we call it the positive aspect of the Father. That positive aspect literally then mirrored itself, and in that mirror then created the negative aspect, the mirroring aspect of itself, which we call the negative or the mother. And so there was that which is the Father, which is light, and there was then that which is the mother, which is the dark, the womb of creation, from out of which then the sun would then be able to illuminate the universe. Those two polar opposites, as they literally wove their way down through time, space, became the positive aspect of love, and the darkness then became the negative aspect of fear. And so there are really two polar opposites within the universe of positive, negative, light, dark, love, and fear. But the mystical marriage, the sun, has learned how to stand within the very center of those two forces of energy and equally loves the light and has been able to weave completely through the darkness and find whatever felt separate from the light, which creates fear. And by simply moving through and bringing love, it then illuminated that which is within the darkness as well. And so the sun then embraced the light and the dark and then became the mystical marriage. Within humanity, of course, those polar opposites are literally played out over and over. The fear is feeling the separation from source. That's all fear is, feeling separation from source. When the universe, of course, was first emanating, we were at one within the light, within the divine. We emanated and felt source as a vibration weaving in and through us. We call that Eden. But we didn't, of course, have free will, which we have talked about. And then source oneness, wanting to expand the possibilities of the universe, needed to create free will. And in order to do that, we had to eat of the apple of knowledge for the first time. And so Eden, the feminine principle, ate of the apple of knowledge, the womb of creation, ate of the apple of mind of knowledge, and then realized I am now separate from that which is the positive aspect, source. And in that, we call that the DEVIL, but it's also EVIL, which is live spelled backwards. And that's all fear is. When something is living, LIVE, within knowing and feeling source vibrating within, one is living in love, LOVE. And when something comes along and judges or criticizes or dislikes some aspect of source, wherever it is within the universe, it creates the feeling of not good enough. That's the separation. And that is then the feeling of I'm not good enough. Something has judged and criticized and disliked me. I must not be good enough to vibrate within source oneness. And it's that feeling then of fear of separation that then causes all of the emotion within humanity. But wherever there is fear, over time, it gives rise to sadness. Sadness gives rise to grief. Grief gives rise then to the feelings of unworthiness. And then over time, one is tired of feeling unworthy. And then one's energy comes up just a touch to the vibration of frustration, which is a more positive aspect than simply feeling fear or sadness or depression. When we're in fear, sadness, or depression, we simply are giving up. There's no hope. And that's the beauty of then vibrating to another frequency of frustration. It comes up more to the tones of red, of action. I now want to find a way to take action to change those feelings, those emotions. And then we can come up to another level of red, of anger. And when we're angry, we're really now bringing forth a lot of energy. We're revving up our power. We're no longer powerless. We don't yet know what to do with our power. We're simply in this state of anger, of wanting to lash out. But then when we come up one more notch, we come up to the red of fire and passion. We get passionate about learning how to find that feeling of separation, that feeling of sadness or loneliness or fear that separated us out from the divine. And that is then a major step or growth in an individual's development. They come out of being a victim into wanting to take action. And one of the first aspects of someone who is coming out of those lower vibrations is to then employ the mind. The mind separated us out from source. We began to know there was good and bad and light and dark and things that were somewhat judgmental and critical, which is that separation. So that was the mind. But now we employ the mind in a more positive way. We begin to read, we begin to do research. Even religion is a step in that way forward. It's a whole set of kind of judgments from people about what is right and wrong and what is good and bad. But it gives us direction, it gives us a sense of movement. And so when we look at the religions in the world, they're not bad, they're just yet limited in their scope. And so once again, we don't judge them or criticize them. We keep moving with our mind and we begin to understand that true spirituality is not so much within the mind, it's more in the feeling nature. You begin to feel the essence of source vibrating, flowing not only within you, but within everything around you. And so when we look at the vibration of religious sects, they're very dark purple. So when we see it within the aura, someone is carrying around this very dark purple within the aura, which is religious programming. This is what you should be doing. This is what's expected of you. This is what your tradition, your family, your culture want you to do and be. Kind of a purple lower vibration, but a little bit higher than the sense of sadness or grief. So there's some movement. But when we take purple and begin to imbue it with light, over time it begins to let go of that deeper tones and it begins to move up to the amethyst and then to the amethyst gold, which is then the vibration of true spirituality. You literally feel the vibration of source not only within you, but within everything around you. It's that beautiful saying within the tradition of India, I am that. It's a very true statement because there's only source within all creation. Yes, sometimes feeling separate within those lower emotional tones, but still source energy, just covered over. But if we can truly say, I am that, and look through the darkness that we're perceiving, the loneliness within someone, the fear, the separation, even the anger, and if we keep moving deeper with our light, because we have mastered the light, we begin to illuminate what is within all creation, source. And as we vibrationally touch in to that which is the one vibration of truth within all creation, source, our vibration, like a catalyst, begins to vibrate it within them. And there's that first acknowledgement that begins to, from inside out, they begin to feel the love, they begin to feel the acceptance, and it begins to be a catalyst that gives them the opportunity to awaken. If they still need some pain and suffering for the development, we understand that. We don't judge it. We don't criticize it. We don't want to dance with it. And so we give them space wherever it might be to move through their pain and suffering, but without judgment, with compassion. I understand where you are. I know and feel within you there is the one source, and I'm going to continue to send you that living light and continue to vibrate that which is the truth within you. And so we become a catalyst of waking for all creation because we have mastered the darkness. And what is the darkness? Simply fear. The sense of separation that all of us have felt because we stepped out of that vibration of oneness within the time of Eden into the realms of mind and begin to explore free will. What is it to want to covet, to manipulate, to war, to need, to create separation and suffering? And that wasn't wrong. It was simply learning that when we do suffer or to create someone else to suffer or begin to manipulate or control, in the next incarnation, we receive that vibration back. And so we feel controlled or manipulated or powerless or depressed or sad. That vibration of separation from source because we separated someone else out from source. And so this is the law of karma. Whatever you vibrate out, you receive back. But the beauty of karma simply says that when you learn to love, karma is dispelled. The spell is broken. You no longer would have any feeling deep within you of wanting to manipulate or to hurt or to harm. You know that feeling of love because you've learned to love yourself. You've gone through your own feelings of unworthiness, your own feelings of frustration, of anger, of separation. And as you have brought the divine soul you truly are in and embraced those emotions and tasted them and felt them, but then went deeper inside, you always found, what is it within me that felt that way? It was that divine child that is within everyone within creation. They're born pure, but quickly covered over with the ignorance, the karma of culture, of family, of tradition, and thus the separation is then established. And that's why we are so fortunate within our work, because we have learned to employ the mind, to read, to know, to understand spirit. But then more importantly, we've been bringing it down into the body and feeling it, embodying it, so that our cells and our tissues vibrate to that frequency of love. And because we have mastered the darkness, there is the light, there is the dark, and there is that which is the mystical marriage, the sun, the light of illumination that stands between the light, the dark, and simply illuminates creation without judgment, but with compassion, knowing and feeling even within the deepest symbolic darkness, It's simply source hiding, source mirroring itself from light into dark in order to play within the realms of creation. It's just like a photograph. If you have a photograph and you would take all the light dots away, they're called pixels. If you took all the light dots off of that photographic paper, it would be completely dark. There'd be no thing. You would see darkness, you would see the void, you would see the womb of creation, possibility and potentiality. If you took that same photograph and then took all of the dark pixels, the dark dots out, you'd have a blank white piece of paper. Once again, possibilities, infinite possibilities. But when you bring dark pixels and light pixels and you begin to weave them together in a matrix of creativity, you then have picture, you have feeling, you have emotion, you have life. It's the very same with our computers. A computer can only do two things. You can either be on or off. And so every time you're looking at your computer, you're looking at billions of computations of simply on and off, on and off, on and off. And when there's certain numbers of on and certain numbers of off in a certain sequence, it's a color, it's a sound, it's a vibration, and you see it on your screen. Once again, light and dark, simply playing infinitely upon your computer as pixels of light. Pixels of light. And that's all creation is. It's the positive of the Father, the mirror, the negative of the mother, the womb. And their dance then creates life. And it is the Son, what we call the Christ frequency, that illuminates the dance of creation and stands within the very middle of that dance and embraces all of it without judgment or criticism, because that which is the Christ within has woven its way out of the darkness, has surrendered to the light, and has become the mystical marriage embodied within form. Just as the individual Jesus showed us, Buddha, Krishna, to fully become an enlightened human being, filled with nothing but compassion and love, no longer needing, no longer desiring, having preferences of more joy, of more happiness, of more peace and health and prosperity, but not needing those things to feel good enough, to feel love. They're simply a byproduct, magnetically arriving into your life because you have established love and the vibration of grace and harmony and peace. You are the living light. And because you are the living light, you then draw all good God things to you with effortless ease. And thus your karma is established. You no longer need to manipulate or control or try and take something from someone because you need it or want it. You know incontrovertibly that whatever you have preference for within your heart, it's going to show up. It's going to be the loaf and the fish. It's going to be the water and the wine. It's going to be all the good things you could ever imagine. They're simply drawn magnetically to you because you are the living light that illuminates creation. And whatever you choose to illuminate, it then is drawn to you. Now, those who are not clear about illuminating that which is good and true and wonderful, they illuminate fear and they illuminate loneliness and they focus upon sadness and the darker tones of creation, and they then draw those things to them. And not because they're bad people or anything is wrong with them. They're just not yet steeped in the knowledge. They're still covering with the ignorance of their culture, their family, their karma. And so we have compassion and understanding, and knowing that our vibration of compassion is going to vibrate in and through their separation and stimulate them back into wholeness. It's why Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Simply meaning that whatever you see out there that looks difficult or challenging, rather than let it hitting you and feeling negative about it, weave in and through it. Bring the light, the compassion, the love. And as you vibrate that which is the deepest part of them, they will simply return back into life. I remember when I first moved to Carmel, California, I was part of a group called the Angel Group. And Dory D'Angelo, the angel lady, she was the one that had the group every Friday. And some of you may have heard this story. She literally glowed. She would walk down the aisles of Safeway and people would simply stop and peek down the aisle and come back and peek down the aisle again because she glowed with light. She was some 82 years old, but beautiful shock of white hair and just glowed with light. And one Friday afternoon, we were sitting in Angel Group, and there was probably 35 to 40 of us in a circle of light. And through the back door, 4 big bikers came in, leathers and some chains and a few tattoos. Well, immediately, Dory popped up from her seat, walked back towards those big bikers, and with this heart that just melted you, she said, "Welcome, boys." And that moment, they did melt. "Oh, it's so wonderful to be here." And they came in and they sat down and joined our angel group. And it was to me such a testament that love, when it is simply truly emanating in its divine quality, overcomes that which looks fearful, that looks separate, that looks out of balance. And that's what love does. It simply weaves so effortlessly through all creation because it is source. It's what the original emanation of source was, to simply see, what can I be? And emanating all creation from itself, that's love. I'm simply going to give all my possibilities out to creation to explore. It's all going to be me, but you're going to feel separate from it for a while, and you're going to feel in that separation fear and emotions and the whole gamut of the dance of separation. But then you're going to weave your way back, and through free will, you're going to become a creator being as well. And together, we're going to expand the possibilities of the universe. And that's where we are right now within this time on Earth. We're weaving our way out of this great darkness of separation. Our light, which is becoming so strong, is illuminating more chaos. That's great. Let's get it illuminated so that it can be dispelled, not by fighting against it or disliking it, but simply shining more of our liquid living light through it. It doesn't have a chance. It doesn't know that yet, but it doesn't have a chance. That's what love does. Just like those 4 big bikers, when love truly appears within your space and you feel it, the darkness melts. And so that's the dance of light and dark, of positive and negative, of love and fear, the 2 opposites of creation that are simply the dance of creation. Without those 2, there would be no creative aspects, no divine dancing away from the light and dancing back into the light. To finally have free will and be enlightened. So one of the things that, of course, assists us greatly in our meditation work is our breathing exercise. The reason being, when we are breathing, we know that within the very center of the heart chakra, there's a doorway. That doorway, of course, is into the void, from which all life emanates from inside out. It's just like a black hole at the very center of every galaxy. The black hole is emanating out consciousness. The consciousness through light forms itself into creation, and we observe what the black hole has emanated. And so we breathing in, we're breathing source from inside out. As it comes out, we simply imagine and feel it as sparkling, effervescent sunlight weaving through our body and flowing out into the world. And once again, back to in-breath from the open doorway. So let's go ahead and close the eyes and feel the body relaxing. Feel the expansiveness within the body. We like to think it's solid, but it's really 99.9% space. With electrons that whirl so rapidly, it gives it the illusion of form. Let the body expand as you relax and let go. Then bringing your attention to the heart chakra at the sternum. There is the doorway, the opening. As Jesus said, I am the doorway. And as you rest on one side, the darkness of the void, moving from out into my manifestation as light creation. And with each deep, slow in-breath, I am breathing from out of source into light manifestation. Through every cell and tissue of the body, the frequency of golden, sparkling light. Slow, deep breathing from the open doorway within the heart, summoning and calling Source. To quietly affirm, I am the light. The breath of life, Source arising forth. On the exhale, sparkling, effervescent golden light. The body, the aura, literally glows with sunlight and peace. Breath is life. Breath is source. From out of the void into light activation. I sit at the doorway, on one side the void, the other side light manifestation. I am the consciousness that calls the void into creation. I am not my body. It is the creation of my consciousness summoning the void into light activation that I may dance within the worlds of form. I am the mystical marriage of light and dark, of power and love. I am the light that illuminates the void, and my breath is the breath of life. From source I am into light I am. Not two things within the universe, one thing, source. Dancing in the illusion of light and dark, which the light, the sun, the daughters of light illuminate. I am the light. I am the consciousness that sits at the doorway, summoning source with my breath to flow into light activation within this dimension as sunlight and peace. Wherever I am, I can move to this place of the open doorway and breathe light into this dimension. No thing can overshadow me. I am the consciousness that summons source into light. I am the light. I am source. I am manifestation. I am that. And another slow, very deep, deep breath. Slowly coming back into the moment of the now. The meditation is the essence of power and love unified. We are weaving through consciousness a crystalline structure of light, the star tetrahedron within, through, and all around us. So I'll take you through that meditation where we will then sit at the open doorway and observe the star tetrahedron that simply creates life through the facets of its divine emanation. So once again, feeling the body relaxing. Feeling the open space within, through, and all around. Let us slowly bring our attention once again to the open doorway within the heart. I am the consciousness of creation. I see and feel beneath me into earth the triangulation of the Divine Mother. Gently turning right to left. The point in earth grounds me into this dimension. As I sit at the doorway and observe the movement of Mother's triangulation from right to left. I gently shift my attention to the triangulation of divine power above. Gently turning left to right clockwise. I am the consciousness that sits at the open doorway, creator of power and love unified, that opens the doorway to the I am, from out of which I summon source into this dimension. Flowing outward through the facets of the star tetrahedron to become liquid living light, just like the sun. The sun is a magnificent star tetrahedron, spinning out light rays. I am the light. I will join with you, and together we will create light activation, streaming effortlessly through the world. I am the light. And very easily, thank you very much for joining in this fine evening. That was quite the light activation. So together we did it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you sooner than later, my friends. Blessings upon you.